Hey, it's Wild Riley again. How y'all doing? Just wanted to show you a little candle making setup. So these are the 6.5 by 2 inch pillar candles, kind of like a survival candle or a disaster candle. I've taken these camping for the last few years. They burn and burn and burn for all night. So I light these at night to keep my tent warm, bushcrafting, survivaling, and they'll burn all night for 3 or 4 days, and I'll still come home with part of a candle left. So over here, don't mind the pet pig, but I have a box of candles. I wrap them in paper and more twine in case we're going to use them to aid in fire building and also to protect them for long-term storage. So there's probably something like 20 candles in this box. But here's one that came back from a trip. You know, usually my trips are at least 2 days, or 2 nights, 3 days, but usually they're 3 nights, 4 days. Because you gotta factor in travel time, and we like being out there for a little while. But they get kind of beat up, you know, living in the bushcraft pack, rolling around in the campsite and stuff. This one you can see the wick was a little bit offset. But yeah, there's a couple different ones. Here's one where I just didn't have enough wax to make the whole cylinder, so I didn't wrap it because I'm probably going to use it first. I have a different candle mold that's made of rubber, but it's just a pain in the butt getting it out of the mold, even with mold release. This is a disaster candle. So it's there, but I don't use it anymore. So anyway, yeah, about 20 candles there. So here, I have my boiler. Just a little potting, canning pot. And then this wax, melted wax goes in there. This is this old beeswax I collect over the years from doing my beekeeping. So, usually I pour it kind of slow. I've been letting the wax cool. Just so that it hardens faster and it doesn't crack as bad as it's cooling, because it's all in the cylinder, and as the outsides cure and harden, the insides are still molten, which leaves big fissures in your candle. So then I got to come back and add a little bit of wax, pour it down the hole like that, just to keep it from, you know, caving in on itself. Something that just goes with the territory when you're doing candles this size. And the more you practice at it, the better you get. So it just goes in there like that. And now I got 3. Before I started the camera, I have this mold release I sprayed in each one. That really helps. It's not necessary, but it helps. And then once they tack up and they're pretty solid and they're kind of warm to the touch but not hot, then I transfer them into the freezer. And the wax will shrink more than the aluminum tube. And then after they get cold, then they slide right out of the tube. Also, I was using twine. So I have this twine. And it's relatively thin twine as a wick. So what I did was I reverse wrapped it. So you bend it over and you twist them so that they twist together like that, both sides. You can almost do it one-handed. So you reverse wrap these, you double the width of your twine, and then it makes for a really good wick. And then once you've achieved that, then you can take and split the reverse wrap twine so that it's twisted, but it prongs apart, and you can make like a wider wick and get more heat. So I don't know if you can see the way this one is. Let's see. See that? Where it's got that Y, where there's two sides that were reverse wrapped, kind of twist apart. This little candle, this is that black pottery I made last summer on the lockdown period. But yeah, you get more of that effect going on. One thing I might consider doing too in the future is soaking the wicks in kerosene before I pour the wax, so that they, or paraffin or something, so they always so that they're saturated in a flammable agent, so they're always pulling something up. Because I find that sometimes this beeswax, I don't know what the deal is with it, but it'll kind of reach its equilibrium and then the flame will kind of shrink as it burns off the tips of the wick. And that just might be because it's burning the wax off fast, and so it takes time for the wick to wear down. Anyway, just something to do. It's been raining. I've been stuck at home for the past few days, so just making candles and maintaining the house, doing a little microgreen setup you saw in the previous video. Hanging out with the pig. So, hope you all are having a good rest of your 2020. Stay prepared and use the technology we have nowadays to further your knowledge, and then put what you learn to the test. Because it's one thing to watch these things on YouTube. It's a whole nother one to learn beekeeping, collect the wax, make candles out of the wax, stockpile candles, on and on. Learning how to make wicks, customize them so you can adjust the height of the flame, things like that. Those are all things that you learn by doing it, and then also by watching it. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a safe rest of your 2020. Bye-bye.